All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. Looking at AP News, it says both sides in Iran war ratchet up attacks on energy facilities as oil prices surge. So I was just listening that the oil price is about 90 cents up from when the war began. We're going on day 18. It's the 19 days, the 19th day over there. And what do we see? Do we see an end of the war coming or not? Or do we see it increasing? Do we see it increasing? Okay, so that means your gas prices are going to increase. He told you it was going to take, what, 3 weeks to 4 weeks for it for him to end the war. So you on day 19. That's 7th. You about to be into your 3rd week on what's that? Friday. So Friday would be your 3rd week right there. And then, you know, I was watching Apostle Tahar's video with that Asian dude, Professor Jiang. He said it takes 30 days for it to be irreversible, okay? Because shipping routes and things like that, it causes insurances go skyrocket. They can't guarantee the shipment. You know, he's blowing up the refinery, so you know that takes time to rebuild. So he's saying even if they 30 days from now, if they said that you know, let's stop the war, it still be irreversible. There'll still be some irreversible effects from the Gulf of Hormuz being shut down for all this time. So that already goes to show you that, you know, it's not going to get any better. That shows you that prophecy is going to be fulfilled. You had your counterterrorism head chief quit his job because he said that. Just like in Israel, just like Israel did leading America into Iraq, which no one knew that. Everyone knew it was a false war, but they never knew Israel had a part with you going into Iraq. And that's what he was saying. So that's breaking news. That's huge information. The water for that. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai for that. Okay, so you can listen to all these stupid motherfuckers out here who think they know about what's going on in the world. You got your head counterterrorism chief telling you this. These niggas brought you into the Iraq war. So how many people came back for the PTSD and all that type of shit going into that war? And then the same niggas are leading you into this Iran war for the same shit. They're using the same script. Oh yeah, this is it's weapons of mass destruction, or they're harboring fugitives, they're doing this and they're doing all of this, they're paying for terrorism all over the world. Okay, so that's the same shit. And that's why he quit. He probably knows, he probably was getting all types of demons coming back to him. They said he did like 11 combat missions in Iraq. So I'd rather listen to somebody like that, somebody who actually went to war. A lot of these people who voted and did all that shit, y'all should go to war. Y'all should be the first ones up since y'all promote that shit. You know, I believe that your king should go to war too. That's what King David did. King David went to war. You be more prone. Send Duck out first, and then send him out first. Beat Hegshift, all of them, and then you send the MAGA troops that support the bullshit. They're gonna be second in line. Then everybody else. Then you might build some morale to go over there and fight a war that you're gonna lose. Okay, but that's why we hope that the Lord don't put us to death with these reprobates. All right, because we don't want to die with these niggas. These niggas deserve to get put to death. Look at these people, man. They don't care about nothing that's going on. And then you got not a Jew putting all this this false information out there so he can avoid. I guess he got an election coming up, so he's trying to deflect from that. You know, he got all types of charges against him. He's putting judges to death. So all this is he dead or not bullshit benefits him. And then Iran said that they're using this time. They ain't nobody talking about what's going on in Palestine like that. So he's using all of this propaganda that while you focus on Iran and what the Ducks doing and counterterrorism and this, he cleansing them people over there in that land. 13 here, 14 here. They said there was one attack, some guy hopped out and was just straight killing civilians. So that's not even being told about. But hey, that's the times that we're in. It tells you in the book of Luke 21 and verse 24 that, let's go there. Let's start right there. Luke 21. I'll start at Luke 21. I'll start at the top. And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And she said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow have cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God, but she of her penury have cast in all the living that she had. So here it is, she puts in 2 little mites. She didn't have much. You know, she had a small amount. She had a small amount to give the Lord, and that's what she gave. And that's what we give. We giving the Lord tells you can't go far enough. There's only so no matter how hard you go, you can't go far enough. So this is a small thing to the Lord. It's a major thing to us because we know who we are in these last days. But to go teach the word, man, that's putting in your might. Okay, but the Sadducees and Pharisees, they had more money, so you know they wanted everyone to see what they were giving into the pot. You know, it was like for a show, but here it is, she didn't have nothing. And Yahweh Shai saw that. And said she's given more than them. Luke 21 verse 5, and as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come in the which shall not be left one stone upon another, thou shalt not be thrown down. Yeah, you adorn this temple, you know, talking about the temple in Jerusalem. And he's saying there's going to be a day where this place is going to be destroyed. Now that's hinting to 70 AD when the temple got destroyed by the Romans. But it's also talking about these last days when the Lord destroys Israel. For all the wickedness and shit that's going on over there. Okay. What prophecy are they fulfilling in the Bible to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians? He told you in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter to kill. Let's see. Let's go there. But that's back then. I mean, you go to Amos, there's going to be a fire in Gaza, it says. But those prophecies already been fulfilled. But does it still play today? It does. Deuteronomy 7. And verse number 1. It says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. So he told, that don't say anything about Philistine. But that's why he's calling them Amalek, to justify him going into that war, putting them to death. Or I'm just putting Amalek to death, you know, when he's Amalek. It's the book of Luke 21 verse 7, and they asked him, talking about the disciples to our Lord Yahweh Shai, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. That's right. Everyone's going to say, I'm the one that's anointed. The Duck's doing that now. He got people coming to his office, putting his hands on him. He got all types of, you know, they glorifying him like he's going to save America. This place ain't going to be saved. Because this place is Babylon, written in the scriptures, that's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. And is he telling you that? If he wanted to save this place, truly, he wouldn't have went to war with Iran, because that's the beginning of his end. So that just goes to show you that he is anointed by the Lord to go destroy himself. Okay? Let me grab this in the book of Proverbs. So the Lord set him up to kill himself, kill this whole nation, destroy it. Proverbs 16, in verse 12, it is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. That's right, so the throne is established by righteousness. He committing wickedness, so you're going to lose your throne. Okay? Grab this in the book of Proverbs 25. And let's start at the top. Proverbs 25, I forgot where it's at. And 1. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. So that's what he should do. He goes search out the matter. He should read the Bible, but he doesn't. The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. So you got to take away the dross. Dross are the impurities that are in the metal. So ultimately the dross represents wickedness. And he's not doing that. He's not purifying this place. He's glorifying wickedness. Proverbs 25 and 5, take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. So he ain't taking away the wicked from the king. That's why he's setting up people like Cash Patel, Pam Bondi. All his leaders are wicked, but some of them aren't, clearly. Some of them are getting the fuck up out of there. They see what's going on, they're getting the hell up out of there. Proverbs 20 in verse number 8, a king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. You're supposed to scatter away all evil with your eyes. You see anything that's wicked and corrupt, you get to get rid of that shit. He's not doing that. He's putting them all the way around him. So this place ain't gonna last long. So Proverbs 29 verse 14, the king that faithfully judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. Yeah, he faithfully judges the poor. Meaning he's upholding the law for the poor. He's taking care of them. He's not doing that. He's oppressing them. The poor is talking about you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's not judging righteously for you. He can care less about you. So his throne's not going to be established. Let's grab this in the book. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So in order for a government to be well ordered, you got to, what's the standard? What's the Bible? You got to establish the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why the nation of Israel is not in their land today. They were scattered out of their land by foreign nations. And the same thing's going to happen here with Babylon. Let me grab this in the book of Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 in verse 1, behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So he's going to scatter you abroad the inhabitants thereof. Just like he did in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, the Tower of Babel. Hence, he's going to do the same thing here. Genesis 11:1, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and he's trying to make you of one language and one speech with that MOTB. They found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there, and they said one to another, go to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. That's right. Let's make us a name. The name goes into your reputation. Okay, they wanted to, this is after the flood. They wanted to build a tower so if the Lord ever flooded the earth again, they can escape the judgment. Okay, just like now, they're trying to escape the judgments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua by putting MOTB chips in all of y'all and trying to kill all of your elect. So by default, he'd be able to rule. But his plan is not gonna work. That's why he's creating all this chaos so he can implement the chip, so he can put it inside your forehead or your right hand. So every day he's diligently working to bring forth that agenda. And so are the elect diligently working to bring forth their agenda, which is the agenda of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay? So that's what he did with the Tower of Babel. He scattered abroad the inhabitants thereof. They didn't complete their they weren't able to be one like they want to be. That's what Esau be pushing over, all one and all of that. That's the same shit Babylon was pushing. Babel. Deuteronomy 1 verse 28, whither shall we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our heart, saying, the people is greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the sons and the Anakims there. So just like when Moses, when Israel, let me see this, hold on, Deuteronomy 1 verse 20, whither shall we go up? Let's keep reading. Deuteronomy 1 verse 29, then I said unto you, dread not, neither be afraid of them. The Lord your God, which goeth before you, he shall fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Egypt, before your eyes, and in the wilderness, where thou hast seen how that the Lord thy God bare thee, as a man doth bear his son, and all the way that ye went until ye came into this place. So Israel was scared to fight because they weren't really ready to fight, but they didn't really have to fight because the Lord was fighting for them. And that's the same position that the nation of Israel is in today. They're scared. That's why they're not on these highways and hedges. They rather just keep quiet and hope none of this destruction comes to them, but it's coming. Genesis chapter 11 and 5, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And that's what y'all doing. That's what he's doing now. He's looking down and seeing. He said he's angry with the wicked every single day because they're doing the same shit. He's displeased with that. That's how we know we at the end. Technology's increasing. We're getting to the point where it ain't no return. Once he puts that chip in you, that's it. Genesis 18 verse 21, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day as God had said unto him. So that's the precept for Genesis 18 and 21. You know, you building yourself, you should be trying to cleanse yourself before this destruction comes. You know, the circumcision was a physical circumcision, and notice it wasn't biting the tip of a baby's foreskin off like Amalek does. Okay, he actually cut the skin off, but now you got to cut off that wickedness. Okay. Genesis 11 and verse 6. And the Lord Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Okay, so they're one, just like this place teaches you. Everybody's one. Everyone loves each other. We're gonna see how one you are. You're gonna be one getting put to death. This is a good book of Proverbs 11, and let me get that. Proverbs 11 and 21. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So if you holding hands with him, you want to be one with him, you're gonna die. Okay, you want to be one with the Lord. He's the one who's connected to the Most High. Genesis 11, verse 7. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So, yeah, go to, let us confound their language. And that's what the Lord's going to do. He's going to confound you in these last days again. He's going to send his angels down here, and they're going to destroy you. So that shows you that the Lord's not with his agenda. Let me grab this in the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12. It says, excuse me, Job chapter 5. Oh, I'm in the wrong book. Job chapter 5, in verse number 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right, the devices of the crafty, which is ultimately Esau. He disappointed him, so his hands cannot perform his enterprise. He's trying to build this new world order where he can rule over the creature by putting that chip inside them, and it's not gonna come to pass. The Lord's gonna disappoint him. He's already disappointing him. You know, that's why he's thinking he's gonna go over there. I mean, even though that's all part of the Lord's plan, but the way he wants his plan to work it's not gonna work that in his benefit. It's gonna work for the nation of Israel. All this destruction, all this calamities and all of that, it's going to purify his elect, and their faith is going to get built up more and more and more to the point where the Lord delivers them. So that's what all this is for. Job chapter 5, verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Headlong means he's pretty much making them rush. That's why the things that he's doing, we can see through it. The Lord's putting our eyes on certain news, have us watching the news, looking for certain different things, you know, that the Lord shows us, and then scriptures pop up in our minds, just like this dude, the counterterrorism chief that just left. That's a big piece of information he revealed yesterday, saying Israel brought y'all into the Iraq war. They were successful before, they're going to be successful again. You already at war in the Middle East. And you people knew it was you know, he had so many people telling you that it was them. And look at you people don't give a fuck. You still fucking going to the rallies. You still on the internet. Look how great of a job he's doing and all of that. Those people, I can't imagine what's going to happen in these last days. Those people that are putting their necks on the line for the duck. We'll see as this world continues to, the Lord only got you here for a reason, probably to talk all that bullshit, but then we're going to see when Isaiah 19:2 kicks off. Okay? When he sends Egyptian against Egyptian. Who knows? He might even send you people who are happy, putting shit on the internet, how great of a job. He might send your kids to go to war. I want to see your post when that happens. When little Becky got to go out there with an M16 and get the busting at some Persians, shooting at the wild boar. We'll see. I wonder what your posts say then. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Yeah, they didn't want to build it anymore. They left. Okay? So he scattered them from Babel. So the same thing's going to happen here. You're going to be scattered when those thermonuclear missiles hit here. Ain't no one coming here anymore. And then he's going to redeem his elect. So you have fun with that. And the Lord is a consuming fire, so he's going to be, good morning, he's going to be in that fire pleading with your flesh. He's going to be burning you up in there. A good scene to watch is when you watch Fallout, the first episode. That's the best nuclear scene I've seen in a while. I like looking. The shit's it's a monstrous. It's a big boom, and then a big cloud, and then a wave. That's the Lord. And he gonna hit every single part of this place, and he gonna go through every single window. He gonna meet everybody in that fire. Okay, we're gonna see all that shit you talking in that fire. It tells you in Zechariah the 14th chapter that your eyes and your tongue's gonna consume away in your face. All right, that's literal. You should watch that in Terminator 2. Sarah Connor, when her hand was on the fence, she was having a vision. She was having a vision of Zechariah 14 and 12. That was prophecy being fulfilled. And you can kind of see some parallels between the movie Terminator and the world that you're living in today. They got Skynet in the movie. You got Starlink with Elon Musk. They got robots with guns. You about to have robots with guns. Same thing. Luke 21 and verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So you're going to hear wars and rumors and wars, like it tells you in Matthew 24. Luke 21 and Matthew 24 are somewhat the same. Well, they are the same. It's going in the prophecy, but there's a difference between what they were saying. But it all paints the same picture. They were around that time when the Lord was here. As well as Mark 13 and I don't think John gets into the end times prophecy. Luke 21 and verse 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Oh, and it says, be not afraid of these things, these rumors, because the MOTB is going to be established first. Now, everything's happening simultaneously, but then you're going to be faced with the MOTB. They're setting up all types of warehouses. They got one in New Hampshire. There's one right around the corner from me. No one knows. It looks just like the one in New Hampshire. A big ass warehouse in Revere, in Massachusetts. So who's that for? It's for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's gonna put y'all in there, either lock you up or put a chip in you, because a lot of y'all ain't gonna want to go to war either. You're gonna be just like the EU. And some of y'all are actually gonna take up arms and fight. Okay? Because that's the times we're about to get into. Nobody wants to fight this war except for the duck and the people rooting for them. But we'll see. And they're the ones who ain't gonna go to war. That's why I was saying it's better, you know, when King David was here, we used to go to war with him. You read 2 Samuel the 8th chapter, he said he put 22,000 to death, 18,000 to death. Okay? The duck can't even shoot the ones with Joe Biden and win the fight. I think Joe would knock his ass out. It's the book of Luke 21. In verse number 10, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And we're seeing that right now. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. We just had a blood moon in February. Okay? He kicked off war in March. All right? Earthquakes in diverse places, terrible signs. And the famine's coming. That's what the whole Strait of Hormuz is talking about. They keep talking about oil, but there's more things that could, like fertilizer. So your fertilizer ain't coming through, so there ain't no crops. You're gonna miss the next season. Okay, we're about to go into the season where you're supposed to start putting in those seeds, man. But you ain't got the fertilizer, and this nigga don't keep the land sapping. So good luck trying to grow something in some nutritionless soil, right? And the pestilences are diseases. Okay, so you could, I'm sure there's last thing I heard was there was a measles outbreak down in the measles is a thing now. But who knows what else he's gonna have up his sleeve? Because Bill Snake said he got some. He keep talking about diseases, and that's another damn devil, Edomite. This is the type of shit that they're in. Niggas accused on the Epstein's list. Then he's at a tennis game with some other bitch kicking it up, laughing, joking. I didn't do anything there. Get the fuck out of here. Just look at him. Disgusting. These are the type of people that need to be arrested. But is the duck arrested them? No. As a matter of fact, I didn't even finish that. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11. Verse number 2. Commend. Salakia, I was in 10. I'll keep going to 11. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So that's the duck, he's the judge, he's the ruler. And just like his officers, they're just like him. That's why Lutnick, he's on the Epstein files too, and that's why he set him up to be your border czar. J.D. Vance just became the new fraud czar. So he's putting them people all around him. So that just tells you what type of people they are. The Lord's telling you, just like he is the people that's around him. And we see that. All corrupt, wicked, evil, witches, warlocks, devils. That's who he sets up next to him. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So everyone that dwells in the city, a bunch of warlocks, witches, devils, same thing. Demons, sinners, transgress the laws. Witchcraft goes into selling drugs, pharmakia, doing drugs. That's what you people do. You practice pharmakia, you practice witchcraft. You do all that shit, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. So he's unwise because he's not establishing the law, statutes, and commandments, and he's going to get you destroyed. That's why he's going into the Iran war. He's setting you up so he can destroy his people. Because he's not wise. He's a fool, like it tells you in Psalm 14:01. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So prudence means the foresight. You should see, okay, if I go over there, that's going to kill everybody. He don't have any prudence, so they're not going to be established. Okay? He don't have the foresight. If he did have the foresight, he would know he's wicked. He would know he's an Edomite. Going back to the Romans, he went to the Eagles game last year, the Caesar Superdome, but he don't even know nothing about prophecy. Or maybe he does, but maybe he got a gun to his head. Who knows? That shit don't make any sense. He probably ain't got a choice in the matter. He got to play his cards too. Everyone got somebody over them, you know? And the way it works with the Edomites, they got the duck over them, and then the duck got Israel over them. Then Israel got the banking families, and then above them they got Satan. But what they don't know is Satan's a double agent. Just like they be setting Mossad agents, that's what Satan is. The Lord sending Satan in there to tell this nigga to do all this stupid shit so he can kill him. All right, you read Job, the 2nd chapter. All right, he's the one who, I'll go through this. He told Satan that all of his sons, that's his son. Just like Yahweh Shai. They make Satan seem like Satan worships Yahweh Shai too. All the angels in heaven worship Yahweh Shai. So even above Satan is Yahweh Shai, and then above Yahweh Shai is the Most High God. All right, so he's taking, well, it's really like a court system, but all power and authority goes to Yahweh Shai when you read Revelation, the 5th chapter. So he got more power and rank than Satan. And the elect are going to have that same power and rank over Satan too. They're going to be able to sick Satan on you heathen. We're going to have power over the spirits. which is way more powerful than any cardinal thing this nigga Esau got. As a matter of fact, he got on, when you look at the periodic table, he got some elements that are newly created, and them shits don't even last long. They just appear for a little bit, then they disappear. He'll put that on the periodic table. Yeah, I made that. I created an element. So this shit don't even last long. Nothing he creates is even, it's all death. It doesn't even do anything. But he boasts about him creating something. He didn't create shit. That was nothing, man. I forgot what element it was, but it's silly. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 3 again. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So this city's not going to be inhabited because he don't got any prudence. It's going to be destroyed. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's talking about Yahweh Shah. He's the one that's profitable, and being joint heirs with him, if you're part of that number, you're going to be profitable too, because you're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments written in your inward parts. You're going to be given a new heart, and you're not going to be able to sin anymore. So if you can't sin anymore, you're not going to be able to die anymore. And if that makes you prudent, that makes you smart. Okay, you're going to be establishing the kingdom in righteousness, so that's going to last forever. That's the real reason why. It's because the Lord's putting his inward parts, giving you a heart of flesh. Let me grab that. And he's only giving that to the nation of Israel. That's their blessing. But the heathen think, all right, let me just throw myself in there. That sounds good to me. That sounds like something I want. But it don't belong to you. You should read Matthew the 15th chapter when the Lord was talking to that Canaanite woman, which was an Israelite, by the way. That's a heathen. No, it's not. All right? You got to read Matthew 18. You got to read Matthew 15. You got to eat the whole book. You don't understand. Israel was called heathen too. Ezekiel 36 and verse number, I'll start at 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. So he's doing this, fucking these other nations up, putting leaders to death, killing the Edomites, putting all these kings in different places so they can go to war with each other. He's saying he's not doing it, even though it benefits you that he's doing this. He's doing it for his name's sake, because that's what's wrong with this place. When you read Psalms 119, 126, let me grab that. Psalms 119, 126, it is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. So they made void his law. Okay? It tells you in the book of Psalms, chapter 9, that the Lord is known by the judgments that he executeth, Higgion Salah. So if they made void his law, they also his judgment's not being executed, so they don't know him. Okay, so he's got to work for his name's sake, to show you that the law endures forever, like he said. And he's already implementing the law, but people don't know. That's why it tells you in Job 4:7, whoever perished being innocent. He just killed 400 people in Afghanistan 2 days ago. And I think it was like a methadone clinic. I guess Afghanistanians are addicted to heroin or whatever. They probably got the real good shit too. You guys got synthetic heroin. They actually got the real shit over there. But they blame it. They're saying the Pakistanis, which they denied, blew up a hospital over there, killing 400 people. And that's breaking the Geneva Code. So if they say they didn't do that, but that's the type of warfare that we get. All that Geneva Code, that shit's for you people to cry about. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing shit like that over here. because you reap what you sow. Look what's going on in Cuba. They shutting out the electrical grid. They ain't got no, they no oil, no gas. You worried about gas prices, at least you got gas. They don't even got gas. They ain't got no food. They're saying food insecurity. And who's doing that? The duck's doing that. So he's gonna reap what he sows. The same shit's gonna happen over here. So you worried about gas prices, you still gonna buy it if it's $20 a gallon. But eventually that's gonna get cut off. And your food's gonna get cut off too. This is gonna be an extension of Cuba. And who's gonna do that to you? The duck. He's gonna make sure all these things happen. All right. What else? And he's talking about going over there and take that place over. No food, no electricity. So if you're in the hospital, no medication. You know how many people are on medication out here? Pretty much everybody. Fatty addicts. That's why you got methadone clinics. All that shit's about to be shut down. So we're gonna see how wild people are then too. They're gonna be losing their fucking minds. And then there's gonna be no food. Then I can see them raiding the liquor stores. There ain't gonna be no stores open, man. They're gonna shut all that shit down. Then they're gonna spoil, they're gonna start going into people's houses. And the worst part is when your construction workers don't get a job, because they gonna come out here, because they're a bunch of crackheads and drug addicts too, but they got swords. And those are the men that'll really put some shit to death. They don't give a fuck. Psalms 119, 1 verse 26, it is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. So they have made void thy law, especially here in Babylon the Great. Psalms 106, verse number 8. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. So that's what he saved them, so he can make his mighty power to be known. Because him saving the nation of Israel, he'll be more glorified than saving the so-called white man. What glory can he get from saving the so-called white man? He can go into nations and take them over with his own strength. He got military. As a matter of fact, now the Jew just came online last night saying, he said he's watching from the sky. He did a video, he said he's watching from the sky. Yeah, that should make you feel like he's still alive. That was after, he said he's the one who put those two Iranian leaders to death. Ezekiel 36, verse 23, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, saith the Lord Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. So he's going to be sanctified in the nation of Israel before their eyes. The heathen are talking about you, the so-called natural, not so-called, the natural born Gentiles who are not Israelites. Okay, that's y'all are. Those of you don't believe they're heathen too, but this is talking about the natural born Gentiles. Those who the Lord created 18 nations. They're part of one of those other nations. Ezekiel 20, verse 41. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. So he's going to be sanctified in the nation of Israel before the heathen. Okay, so because as this place starts to get destroyed, you're going to be all right. Okay, he's going to find a way to protect his elect. All right, they're going to have his servants, I should say. Those who serve him, those who are obedient to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, that's who he's going to be working with in these last days. That's why they're the ones who are filling up their cups, because they know they're going to need that oil. According to Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the times. And the Lord is the one who gives you that knowledge, according to Ephesians 2 and 8. It's a gift. Faith is a gift. To have faith in him, he gave you that. If you don't have faith in him, he don't want you to have faith in him. He wants you to die. That's not a good thing if you don't have faith in the Lord. Ezekiel 36. As a matter of fact, let me grab this. Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28, verse 22. And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O Zidon, and I will be glorified in the midst of thee, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall have executed judgments in her, and shall be sanctified in her. So Zidon is those Hamite nations. Just heathen. Okay. Ezekiel 36, verse 24. So there's a difference between Africans and Israelites. Some of us are dark skinned, but there's a difference between all Israelites and you other heathen. Okay, even within the Edomites nation, there's Israelites within there, and they're not like other Edomites. Man. They look like Edom, but they're not. You know, some of these right-wing extremists, some of them are Israel. Some of them are Israelites, man. Because Esau ain't like them. That's why they're getting mad about the shit that's going on in their government. Because they grew up, you know, the Lord got them in that. The Lord said he's going to have mercy on who he's going to have mercy. So some people don't even have this truth. But the Lord's going to be giving them, maybe they're going to see some power. Maybe they're going to recognize the truth before the end. Okay, as these things as we get closer and closer to the end, the Lord's going to be showing his elected being purified every single day. Okay, they're cleaning themselves right now, and he said he's going to make them more precious than fine gold. So that could be taking care of them. It's obviously taking care of them, make sure they get what they need. But also when it comes to Esau coming in with great wrath, coming in like a flood, he's going to lift up a standard against them. So if the Lord lift up a standard for you, then you know you're part of that number. Okay? You get caught in a situation and he gets you out of it, and no one knows who's a part of that number, but the Lord's going to, in these last days, we're going to see who's who. Ezekiel 36, verse 24, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. So the elect are in all countries. Okay, but they're saying that that situation in the Strait of Hormuz is going to be a global depression. It can create a global depression, so everyone's going to feel it. All right. Ezekiel 36, verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean for all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. So he's going to cleanse you. He'll sprinkle that clean water under you. Okay? And it kind of starts with this word, man. It starts with this word. That water is this word. So you're going to have, but ultimately, you get cleansed with the water. As a matter of fact, what was the precept is that? I think that's Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Ephesians, I think it's 5. Let me see. Ephesians 5. Oh, I'm in the wrong chapter. Ephesians 5. And then I don't know where it's at. washing of water by the word, something like that. Ephesians, the washing of water by the word, KJV. Ephesians 5. I don't know why I can't see it. It's right in front of my face and I can't see it. Ephesians 5. Okay. Ephesians 5 verse 26. It says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So this is the word. That's why I said in Ezekiel 36 that this word is what cleanses you first. It starts with this word. All right.
This is closer.
This.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ezekiel chapter 36. 25 again, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. So it starts with this word. This word is what's making us clean. Isaiah 52, verse 15, so shall he sprinkle many nations, the kings shall shut their mouths at him, but that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. So this word. Word, man. You're gonna consider it. That's if you're part of that number. Most people, they ain't gonna consider the word. But they got demons on them, so they, like the rest of this world, they see a so-called black man, they start talking shit. Because this place was created to hate you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But instead of letting that destroy you, that should be building you up, because that's what the Lord's doing with these people. People are reprobates. People are going to die. Okay? And the Lord puts you through that furnace of affliction. He puts acceptable men in the furnace of affliction. That's why most men, they ain't for that. They want the soft life, man. They want to be soft, man. But the Lord is a hard man. He's austere. All right? Hebrews chapter 10, verse 22, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. And that's talking about this word. Okay, this is the baptism. Okay, you get the word and then you go through the fire. So you're getting baptized with water and fire. Or with the Holy Spirit and fire, I should say. That's what Yahweh Shai said.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're being washed with pure water. Ezekiel 36 in verse 26. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. So he's giving us a heart of flesh. So this stony heart isn't capable of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why we kept going off. Even when we were in Israel and we were keeping the high holy days and we were doing way better then, but we still went off. We knew who we were then. We were practicing our customs then. We were keeping the Sabbath day and doing all of that, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, man. It was never meant to be enough. Ultimately, we all had to come back to our Lord. That's why Paul told you that the law was just a schoolmaster. It was just a teacher. All of this is a test. Even this faith through grace, it's all a test. That's why he calls it a grace period. To build yourselves up for this test that you're about to take. Through the fire. Okay? Let's drop that. Jeremiah chapter 32. It says the same thing here. Jeremiah 32, verse 39. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of the children after them. And I'll make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. So there you go. Because Romans 6 verse 23, the wages of sin is death. So we're not going to depart from him, because he's going to put it in us. We're going to program us to be righteous. So it's not just like he gave us this this sinful flesh. Ultimately, our spirits don't want to transgress the law, but our flesh does. So it's really the flesh that's we're giving over to the flesh. That's why he's going to give us a new body. Like it tells you in 2 Corinthians 15, 50 through 58. Ezekiel chapter 11, in verse number 19, and I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep mine ordinances and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God. So there you go. So he's still our God, but we went off, so he punished us, but we're coming up out of that, because he's given us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When you didn't know who you are, look how Esau loved that. He loved when you don't know who you are. He can call you a nigger, he can call you a monkey and all that shit. You don't even know who you are, so you can't even fight it. You can't even fight against that shit. He built a whole system for every other nation. He even got the heathens hating on the nation of Israel, because this is not our rest, which is good. We're the only nation that got kidnapped over here and still here, being talked to like shit. That's why the Lord's gonna put these people to death. So I'm gonna rejoice in their suffering and their death and all of that. That's what I'm gonna rejoice in. I'm gonna clap when the Lord puts their people to death, because that's the Lord. All of his works I'm rejoicing in. All the destruction, everything. That's what's gonna make me happy. That's gonna bring up my faith. And that's gonna be your destruction. Psalms 105. Verse number 45. And he remembered for them his covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. Yeah, he had a multitude of mercies on us. He was going to destroy us multiple times, and he didn't. Leviticus 26, verse 41, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. So he's remembering the covenant that he made with our forefathers. Okay? Not with these other heathen nations. They didn't make a covenant with him. They got a covenant of death coming to them that the Lord made with them. They don't know they have it though. As soon as they put their hands on the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're in violation. They got to pay for that. Any blood that was shed amongst these other nations, they're going to pay for that. The nation of Israel had to go through slavery under all these different nations. These other heathen, they ain't been through that shit. So we got a long history of being at the bottom, man. Long history of it. Only 40 years of peace and all this creation, all this time. We got 40 years of fucking you niggas up. which was fun. And then we got a little more time during the Maccabean period. That was a little more peace, but that wasn't the whole nation. But whatever Israel was doing over here in the Americas is also part of that too. We had our times to rule after the fall of Jerusalem, even in Africa. But was it? That's not an everlasting salvation. That was like him taking you out of the furnace for a little bit, letting you cool off, then he put you back in the furnace. But now the furnace is gonna turn the heat up, and this is when we come out, it's a wrap. Our souls are gonna be perfected, and that soul that he's perfected, he's putting it into a new body that won't go off. That's that heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36 in verse 27, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. So Amalek should have a new heart. He shouldn't even have tanks and stuff like that. He shouldn't even, there should be no such thing as an Israeli person being put to death. Because sin is the transgression of the law. That's the only reason. They should be in new bodies right now. We should be going over there, calling them Lord willingly, because they can fly. They can do all the things that the Lord can do. All they need to do is stop, instead of fighting over resources for the Gulf of Hormuz, you should just stop. Don't send them any rain. Stop the rain from going over there. Cause their crops to, they're kind of doing that, but they're doing it in a wicked way. They're not doing it because they got the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Okay, so we're going to get a new heart. Anyways, Luke 21. I didn't even get to what I wanted to get. In verse number 12 again. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So that's talking about this. They're bringing you into the synagogues, into the prisons for his name's sake, for his servants. And we're going to be going into prison again, okay, to serve the Lord. But a lot of people, they're not going to do that. They're not going to serve it. They don't got the faith to serve the Lord. These heathen don't believe in the Lord. Like I said, man, they're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You can see that if you understood what the law, statutes, and commandments were, or are, you'll know they don't keep those laws. Okay, I was telling somebody to keep their mouth shut. A woman don't know how to, she's way out of her damn mind. Got that black woman spirit on her. They don't get it. Luke 21 verse 13, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, and not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay or resist. That's right. He'll give you a mouth of wisdom that all your adversaries will not be able to gainsay or resist. Okay, that's why they try to come up against the word, and they can't. Because we got the mouth. But what that's talking about also is when you go into these prison houses, or if you're in court, or you're this, that, and the third, you don't have to worry about any of that, man. It's all the Lord doing. He gonna give you the words to say. He gonna give you the mindset to have in any situation that you get put into. So it's not something you dwell on thinking about. But it's hard to do that. You see everything that's going on, and all these things come to your mind. Oh, what if I got, do this, and I got to fight, and I got to do this? Like, you don't know. But the Lord's telling you ain't got to worry about any of that. Whatever he putting you through, the Lord's going to be with you. Even if you get put to death. So worst case scenario, he going to give you the mindset to have in that situation too. The Lord, Yahushua didn't want to get crucified. But then he had the mindset to go through it. Hence why he was anointed. Same thing with the elect. Whatever the Lord going to put you through, you're going to have the mindset to get through it. No matter what this devil puts in front of you. The book of Maccabees, you always read about those that woman and her kids, they were chopping them up. Her kids in front of her. The Edomites were. So I can only imagine what type of shit they were gonna do. But to have the mindset of the Lord, man, shit, fuck this flesh. And we're gonna kill them niggas later anyways. We're gonna do way worse to them than they've ever done to us. But in righteousness. We're not gonna be playing with your butts like this nigga does. But we're gonna kill you. We're gonna destroy you when we get in the kingdom for the things you've done, because we're gonna have spiritual power then. So we're gonna go in the spirit and see everything that you've done. So it's not gonna be in unrighteousness. It's no, oh, look what you did this. Oh shit, yeah, in the past life, you did this is what you did. You were hanging babies. Oh, you were a pedo. Oh, okay. Oh, you ate human flesh. Okay, I got you. Oh, you were drinking this little girl's blood and taking this baby's eyes out so you can have some new eyes or some shit. You're gonna pay for all of that shit. All your sins are you're gonna pay for that. See, nobody wants to hear that, and that's good. That's good, man. Because you probably gonna die too. Luke 21, verse 16, and ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinsfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. That's right. Some of you shall they be caused to be put to death. Your friends, your family, your parents, putting you to death. You know, like I was saying a couple of days ago, a brother just did a video in India. They got biometrics to get your food rations over there, and everyone in your family need to have it. So, you know, he was saying they think they're going to do that with the MOTB, where your whole family going to have it. So that's how they're going to persecute you. Oh, we can't eat. He doesn't want to take the chip. Let's just put him to death so we can go eat. Okay, let's kill him. Let's find him. Let's see where he's at. You know, let's go look for him. Who knows? Luke 21 and verse 17, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And that's what happened with the disciples. They were getting hurt. They were going into prisons. They were getting stoned. Paul got stoned to death and came back alive. All for the name of Yahushua. And he was persecuting people for the name of Yahushua too. And then he got converted, and then he was getting stoned to death for the name of Yahushua. And the Lord said that's a chosen vessel, so the elect is going to scarcely be saved. Luke 21, verse 18, but there shall not a hair of your head perish. That's right. There shall not a hair of your head perish. All right. The Lord is the author of life and death. Here it is. He got stoned to death, and he got back up. Who knows what the Lord can do with you? Really nothing, man. Luke 21 and verse 19, in your patience possess ye your souls. So you got to possess your soul. Okay? Your soul's going into your mind, man. You got to keep in your patience through your sufferings. Patience goes into suffering. You got to keep your soul, and that's keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's keeping your faith. Okay, that's trusting in our Lord. Luke 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Now that's talking about 70 AD. But the same thing, Jerusalem's a people before it's a place. So when you see armies on your streets in the cities, that's also prophesying of that too. Okay, because Jerusalem, most of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you live in the city. So when you start seeing military troops in the city, then you know we almost at the end. It says, then know that the desolation is nigh. So Jacob's trouble, destruction is desolation, is nigh. That's going into martial law. That's going into all types of, it's pretty much Jacob's trouble. Luke 21 and 21, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. So that's when you're going to want to flee. It tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and 40, they shall be like pilgrims within the earth. Okay, so there's going to be a time when we're going to have to be, there ain't going to be nowhere to, we're going to have to be on the move. And that time will come. The Lord's going to let us know when that time is. All right? 21 verse 22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So these be the days of vengeance, which all things that are written may be fulfilled. So that's Jacob's trouble, that's the famine, that's the pestilence, that's everything. Who knows what the hell's going to be going on in these last days? All these pestilences and famines and how you got to maneuver. He said you got to be a pilgrim within the earth. He tells you, don't I look at the lilies and look at the birds, the fowls of the air. He feeds all of them. So you got to trust in the Lord that He'll feed you. You're going to be walking in faith at that time, because the opposite of that is going to take this MOTV. So you can continue to participate in this system here. But we know that desolation's coming nigh, so it's not going to be a long time. It's not going to be a long, drawn-out time. Who knows? It could be a month where you gotta. Could be 2 months. Could be 3. But when the MOTV is established, we know it's right there, and that's when you gotta really lock in. And you probably ain't gonna have any water for some time. But then He said He's gonna feed you, and then He said He's gonna give you water too. So there's going to be some miracles that are going to be performed in these last days. Luke 21 and verse 23. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. So yeah, woe means death and destruction to them that are with child, because it's going to be tough to navigate with your kids. Going to be, that's for the people who do have kids and stuff like that. It tells you in the second chapter that He's going to save your kids too. Okay, so this is why we hope and pray that the Lord, and some of us got, little infant babies. Okay, so a lot of y'all are going to take the chip because of that, because you're going to think it's easier to just help your baby out and give, so you can drink infant milk. But life and death belongeth to the Lord, so you got to go out through by faith. And a lot of people, this is why you got to be constantly in these scriptures, man. Constantly being comforted by the Lord and not this world, because when that time comes, you're going to seek comfort from the world, and the Lord's it's going to be cold in that time, man, during Jacob's trouble. But maybe you're not part of that elect, so you probably got to take the chip so you can feed your kids for a little bit. And He might not even feed you. It tells you in Ecclesiasticus 12 verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. He might run out of food. He might want you to die of famine so he can grind you up and feed somebody else. Some other Edomites, they love eating that shit. So you like trusting in your enemy, good luck. This is the last time you want to trust him. And if you want to trust him in these last days, that's what the fuck you get. You and your baby. Being a damn devil. Job 4:7 said, whoever perished being innocent. So the Lord had it out for both of y'all. It's the book of Luke 21. In verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. That's what I wanted to get. So 70 AD, you shall fall by the edge of the sword. That's talking about the Romans coming into Jerusalem. And you were led away captive. And what else to say? You were led away captive into all nations. So that's when Israel ran into the inner parts of Africa. Majority of them went into Africa, but they went in everywhere. They were scattered everywhere. And then they went to the west coast of Africa, escaping Roman persecution. And then the nigga went and created a transatlantic slave trade and brought you all over here. He didn't come just get you. He was fucking with those stupid ass Hamite Africans. They knew they weren't Israel because they eat fucking monkey meat out of a hole in the ground. They knew that y'all were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You were keeping the Sabbath day holy. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. They're over there. They like bathe and take care of themselves, right? Yeah, that's them over there. You know an Israelite woman from a damn Hamite woman. So that's who he came to get in Africa. He was working with the stupid ass heathen to come get y'all. Like it tells you in the book of Joel. Chapter 3. Let me grab that real quick. So this is all prophesied in the Bible, man. Your whole life, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is in this book. Joel 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yeah, they given a boy for a harlot. That's what Esau did. Esau was raping little boys and girls, even during the transatlantic slave trade. So that's all the way back in 1619. And he was probably doing it even before then. So all that shit that you see on the Epstein list, that started with us. And guess what? The list that he did to us, that's gone. We ain't gonna find out what he did till we get in the kingdom. So we're gonna open all those old wounds that are healed, and we're gonna fuck this nigga up. Can't wait. Get to stomping this nigga out. Like that movie, I forgot that movie, Stomp him to the ground and flatten him out. I can't wait to fuck this nigga up. Joel chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, Hamite nations, and all the coast of Palestine? So that's another Hamite nation, all Hamites, Africans. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? And every time I think about that, I think about when P. Diddy, I forgot, he took some money and he just threw it on the head of some other rapper. That's what the Lord's gonna do with your recompense. There's nothing these heathen can pay back to the Lord. Now you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you can shake hands with them and be friends with them if you want. The Lord's still gonna repay back them. He don't have no respect to persons like you. That's why he tells you, my thoughts are not your thoughts. And my ways, your ways. He's nothing like you. That's why he gonna put his spirit of wrath in you, like he tells you in Ezekiel the 25th chapter. Then you're gonna know you're gonna be doing it because the Lord made you do it. Just like Esau got to go to war, the Lord put his spirit in to do that. Even with the transatlantic slave trade, even like Pharaoh, he hardened the heart. Joel chapter 2, verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. And that's talking about, his silver and his gold, they went into the temple. Okay. Ultimately, I'm talking about Esau. These heathen. Esau went in 70 AD. He got all that shit still. He got all types of relics and shields and swords and all types of heirlooms that belongs to Israel. He probably be putting it on and acting like he's King David in the mirror, swinging the sword. You probably can't even pick it up. You probably can't even put one of those ancient crowns on his head, because them shits was like, they said, somewhere in 70 to 100 pounds. Joel chapter 3 and verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. So that's what he did. Okay. Luke 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. And I'm going to end it here. So that's what you're seeing. We're seeing all the signs, man. There's going to continue to be more signs until the end be. All right, but when you see Jerusalem compassed about with armies, you know the desolation is nigh, and we're getting to that point. You're hearing these leaders quit their jobs for the same reasons everyone's thinking about. Nobody wants to go to war. There's nowhere you can run, because it's not going to be just a draft here in Babylon. Canada and all these other countries, Europe, and the same thing's going to happen with these European nations. They're going to try to make them go to war, and it's just going to be chaos. Man, to hear Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach, Wadash, Shalom, Abad, Babal, Kwam